Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. The objective of this video is to guide you about Privileged Identity Management, also known as PIM. We will discuss what is PIM and what are the benefits of using it. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Let's first understand what is PIM. So PIM is a service in Azure AD that enables an organization to manage, control, and monitor access to the critical resources in Azure AD, Azure, and Microsoft 365. So PIM works on the concept of just in time and just enough access. This means administrators will have to activate the admin roles whenever they have a task to do which requires elevated privileges, as the admin roles are not available to them all the time. Further, an organization can also decide for how long the admin roles should remain active. So I'll show you how you can set up all of these things during our demo. Okay. Now let's discuss about permissions you need to manage PIM. So for Azure AD roles, any user with either privileged role administrator or global administrator can manage assignments for other administrators inside PIM. And users with any of the below roles can view assignments of Azure AD roles in PIM. Moving on, we will now discuss about the licensing requirements to use PIM. So the only license we need is Azure AD Premium P2, and below is the category of users who need this license. So any user who's going to activate roles, any user who's going to perform approval or rejection requests, or any user who's going to perform access reviews. Okay. Moving on, this license is not required for those users who will set up PIM, will configure policies, receive alerts, and set up access reviews. And moving on, the important factor that we need to consider is, are all the Microsoft 365 roles supported in PIM? So the quick answer is no. Although majority of the roles are supported, however, roles in the Exchange RBAC and Security and Compliance RBAC are not supported, along with these three roles, which are Account Admin, Service Admin, and Co-Administrators. Now we'll jump onto the demo. So the first process in setting up PIM is to create a Microsoft 365 or security group so that the group can be later assigned to a role on Azure AD PIM portal. So now I'll create a group first. So to create a group, I'll click on Add a Group. I'll just leave it to Microsoft 365. And then I have to put a name here. So you can put any meaningful name here. Okay, I'll just click Next, Add Owners. And then I'll add members. Here you have to define an email address for this group. And we have to change the privacy to private. Only then this option that says role assignment will become active, and uncheck Teams option. Hit Next and then click on Create Group. Similarly, I'll add another group for, let's say, SharePoint role. So I'll just put a name here. Okay, and then I'll click Next. I'll add owners. And then I'll click Next, followed by adding some members. Okay, I'll hit Next and I'll put an email address. Then change the privacy to private. Put a check mark on role assignment. If this option is not checked, then you will not be able to assign roles to this group. Okay, I'll click next and create group. So the group has been created. I'll now log into Azure AD portal with the global admin account, and I'm already logged in. I'll click on Azure AD Privileged Identity Management. You can find this option after clicking on All Services in the left panel. So here, now the next task for us is to assign the roles to the groups that we have just created. So I'll click on Azure AD Roles under Manage. I'll now find the role name that I have to assign. Let's say I have to assign Exchange Admin role to the group that we just created. Here I have to click on Add Assignments, scroll down, and then we have to click on No Member Selected. So here I can simply type the group name that I just created, select next. So here you have two options to choose from. The first one says eligible. This simply means user is eligible to activate the role, okay? But that does not mean once it's active, it's going to remain active. So if you click on active, that means user will not have to activate the role to start using it. They will have the role every time they need it. So let's say we'll go with eligible, then I'll click assign. All right, as we can see, the group has been assigned to Exchange admin role. Now I'll click on settings to define what else we can configure with this particular assignment. Okay, I'll click edit. So here you can define once the role is activated, how long should user be able to use it. So as you can see right now it says 2 hours. So if I just change it to let's say 4 hours, that means once the role is activated, user would be able to use it for up to 4 hours. Okay. Now the next option is on activation require none or MFA. So if you go with Azure MFA, that is when user will see a prompt on their Azure MFA. Okay. If you choose none, they'll not see any prompt. Now these are among some other options that you can choose. So if the first option says require justification, this simply means upon activation of the role, user will be prompted to enter a justification. Similarly, you can also prompt them to put a ticket number and whether you would like this request to go for approval. If yes, we can choose the approver here. So let's say I'll go with the global admin account. It's already selected. I'll click select. All right. Now, once the user tries to activate the role, it will be sent for approval. I'll click on next assignment. Okay. So here you again have few more options to configure. The first one says allow permanent eligible assignment. This simply means user can click on activate for the next 1 year. Okay, and after 1 year, they'll lose access to this role. And second option that says allow permanent active assignment. This simply means user will not have to click on activate each time they need to use this role. They will have this role with them for the next 6 months. And there are some more options that you can choose from. Now I'll click on next that says notification. Under notification, you can choose what all notifications should be sent and whether you would like to send to any additional recipients that you can put the email address of those here. Okay, now I'll just click on update to save all of these configurations that I've made. Okay, so the configurations is now saved. And as you can see, we have assigned a group called prod underscore PIM underscore EXCH to the role called Exchange Administrator. This means any member of this role should be able to log into PIM and activate Exchange Admin. Okay, so now let me just first of all show you who all members we have in this group. Okay, so there are two members, Andy and Ashton. Let me log into M365 admin portal using Ashton's credentials. Okay, as you can see, he does not have the capability to view Exchange here. Okay, so now I'll open Azure AD portal with the same user, and I'll click on Azure AD Privileged Identity Management in the left navigation bar, and then I'll choose My Roles option. So here you can see this user is eligible to activate Exchange admin role. Okay, so I'll click on Active. Okay, so as you can see, this user can activate the role for a maximum time period of 4 hours as we defined during our setup of PIM. Further, this user can also choose to activate role at a custom time. Okay, so I can also decrease the time from, let's say, 4 hours to 3 hours or 3.5 hours. As you can see, we now have the options to enter the details. Okay, so in the ticket number, you can put anything here. In the reason, user will have to enter the justification as to why they need this role activated. Okay, I'll now click activate. All right, as you can see, now the request has been sent for approval. So now we'll have to wait for another minute or so for email to receive. Once the email is received, this user can then decide whether request needs to be approved or denied. So I'll pause the video here for a few seconds. Once I receive the email, I'll resume. Okay, so the email has been arrived, and being an approver, I can see who submitted the request, what is the role that they requested for, and what's the reason. Okay. From here, I can either approve or deny the request. So let me just show you how to approve the request. I'll simply copy paste the URL. Just wait for a minute or so because the request should appear. Okay, as you can see, the request is now appearing. So this is the one that I'm referring to. I'll simply click on this request and I'll click approve. So I'll put anything here, demo. All right. And being an approver, I can also see when the request is going to expire. I'll click confirm. So the request is now approved, and the user who requested for this role should also receive an email within a minute or so. Meanwhile, let me open Outlook for this user who requested for the role. Okay, now this user has also received an email that your Exchange admin role is now active in Azure Active Directory. So let me try to use. All right, give me a second. I may have to log out and log back in again. All right, now as you can see, under admin centers, Exchange is now appearing, and earlier it wasn't. So this is how a user can submit a request in PIM, and once the request is approved, it can take a minute or so for it to be effective. Additionally, while setting up PIM, you can also define to not have any approver. However, that is not the recommended approach. I will now demonstrate how you can perform auditing in PIM. So right now I'm logged into Azure Active Directory, and after clicking on Privileged Identity Management, I'll click on Discover under Discover and Monitor. And then I'll have to click on resource audit. So here it will list down all the activities that I have done so far. And as you can see, this is the complete list of requesters, what role they requested for, and so on. This is how you can perform auditing. From here, I can also choose to export all the audit logs. I can also click on my audit option, and this will list down all the activities for the user account that I'm logged in with. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. Thank you.